on Zambia One Nation, and thanks for joining us on ZANIS News. To present the news, my name is Juliet Mtele. Top stories in the news. Botswana president in Zambia for working visit. TB cases reduced by 95% in Mpika. Plus, ACC urges the media to be proactive in fighting corruption. The news in detail. President Mongwetsi Masisi is in the country for a two-day working visit. President Masisi arrived yesterday via Kazungula by road before proceeding to the tourist capital, Livingstone. The Botswana president, together with his host, President Hakainde Hichilema, will witness the signing of an agreement to establish the Kazungula Bridge Authority. Here are the rest of the details.
Botswana President Mongwetsi Masisi has arrived in the country for a two-day working visit. President Masisi arrived in Zambia via Kazungula by road before proceeding to the tourist capital, Livingstone. Republican President Hakainde Hichilema was on hand to receive President Masisi both in Kazungula and Livingstone.
Everyone, seeing you. Yes, I'm working at it. I'm working. Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
While in Kazungula, a quarter guard military parade was hosted in honor of the visiting head of state. The two heads of states will witness the signing of an agreement to establish the Kazungula Bridge Authority, KBA. The agreement seeks to take lead in the operations and maintenance, as well as development of additional infrastructure of the bridge and associated facilities. The two presidents will further oversee the signing of an agreement on the guidelines on tourism and events on the Kazungula Bridge, which will result in additional infrastructure being built to attract tourists to the Joint Permanent Commission of Cooperation, among other agreements. Kalan Muchima, reporting for ZANIS, Southern Province.
Now, Vice President Mutale Nyalumango says government remains resolute to implement devolution as the country stands at a critical juncture in its journey to develop. Mrs. Nyalumango says decentralization presents an opportunity to harness the potential of local communities to participate in national development. She said this when she addressed the 2024 National Decentralization Conference under the theme Unlocking Sustainable Local Economic Development Through Devolution. Shirika Shabalengula now reports.
The 2024 National Decentralization Conference has opened in Lusaka to assess progress made since the central government resolved to devolve some of its functions to the local authorities. Vice President Mutale Nyalumango, who opened the conference, said she expects the meeting to come up with ways of addressing public service delivery.
The theme echoes the core of government's desire to grow the economy, support businesses, and create jobs for our people. Indeed, this desire is clearly expressed in our 8th National Development Plan and the 2024 National Budget. Today, we stand at a critical juncture in our country's journey to develop. As a country, we inherited a legacy of centralized growth, devoid of community participation. In August 2021, however, a new dawn emerged. One illuminated by the promise of decentralization. As government, we remain committed to ensuring that the local authorities are fully supported to deliver quality public services to our communities. As government, we expect that this platform will generate innovative solutions to our challenges and propose practical policy recommendations.
Speaking earlier, Local Government Permanent Secretary, Technical Services, Nicholas Piri, highlighted limitations faced in the devolution process.
When the CDF was expanded in scope as well as in quantums, we had a challenge in terms of monitoring the impact of the CDF. throughout the value chain. Arising from that, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, working together with several stakeholders, embarked on a journey to develop a standardized tool meant to monitor the impact of the CDF.
And lead cooperating partner representative Robin Sharma acknowledged the significant progress that Zambia has made in advancing decentralization.
We are pleased to acknowledge the significant progress made by the Zambian government in advancing devolution. The efforts to embed central government staff within local authorities mark a crucial shift towards more localized decision-making and service delivery.
Meanwhile, Chidila Mombwe town clerk shares on the devolution progress made at the local level.
We've actually embraced the devolved ministries within the local authorities, so they currently report to the local authority. Health, we are talking of livestock, as well as ports and transport. So these devolved ministries are now able to have their decisions made within the local district, and also that decisions are actually able to be actualized locally.
Shilika Chabalengula for ZANIS in Lusaka.
Thank you, Shilika, for that report. Now, from the central part of the country, Central Province Minister Princess Kasune says President Hakainde Hichilema holds traditional leaders in high esteem because of their pivotal role in fostering national development. Mrs. Kasune says it is for this reason that the head of state has apportioned a component of Constituency Development Fund, CDF, for the construction of institutional palaces to improve the welfare of chiefs in the country. She said this when she paid a courtesy call on Chief Mukumbwe of the Lenje people in Ngabwe district. Here are other details.
She is on her familiarization tour of the province. In Ngabwe district, Central Province Minister Princess Kasune has toured the construction site for Chief Mukuwe's palace. Ms. Kasune has thanked government for embarking on the construction of chiefs' palaces.
Royal Highnesses were coming from ramshackle buildings in the past. They have been complaining. And their son, President Hakainde Hichilema, heard their cry. Today, Chief Mukuwe was full of praises for President Hakainde Hichilema. Why? Because he has brought palaces. This is just one of the 13 palaces which are being built in Central Province. And you have heard there is also a conference area. There are also houses for the lieutenants. And there are bikes also coming for the lieutenants.
And the provincial minister has acknowledged that the drought has put many parts of the country at risk of hunger.
This is the first biggest drought for Zambia. And your son, the president of the Republic of Zambia, is not sleeping, finding means and ways to alleviate the situation. First of all, he has instructed that FRA try to sell maize in near places, and even within this week, coming next week, they will find other modalities, because much of it they were selling at the center places.
Earlier, speaking through his advisor, Chief Mukuwe presented a catalogue of challenges, among them the shortage of accommodation space for patients at health facilities and the chiefdom boundary disputes.
They share one word, so there is no privacy whatsoever. This is a very big concern for us, because, that shouldn't be. Privacy is needed, especially when somebody is sick.
ZANIS reports in Ngabwe.
Solwezi Mayor Remy Kalepa says government is aware of the water challenges that most peri-urban areas in the district are faced with. Mr. Kalepa notes that the situation calls for stakeholders' participation in ensuring access to clean and safe drinking water. He also says there is also need to support the water utility company's investment in the district aimed at extending its piped water network to most communities in the area. Mr. Kalepa has since assured the people in the district that through Constituency Development Fund, CDF, the local authority will set aside a substantial amount of money for the implementation of water projects in rural and urban communities.
The Solwezi Municipal Council has handed out over 2.2 million kwacha to 131 cooperatives and groups in Solwezi district from the 2024 Constituency Development Fund CDF grants. Solwezi Central Member of Parliament Stafford Musa presented the checks to beneficiaries in Solwezi. The UPND government, the party that you support night and day and you voted for in 2021, is working hard to bring development to this country. Solwezi Mayor Remi Kalepa has encouraged the groups that have not yet benefited from the CDF not to lose hope.
Guests of honor, sir, we want to assure you, in terms of commitment as the Solwezi Municipal Council, being the administrators of these resources, we shall make sure that these resources are used to the intended purposes.
Meanwhile, beneficiaries are happy with the gesture and have pledged to use the money for the intended purpose.
His efforts should not be in vain. Let these efforts be seen so that our town, Solwezi, indeed would be noticed, would be on the map. May we utilize these finances efficiently, effectively, and profitably.
ZANIS News in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
Thank you, Chaibu, for that report. We take our first break. More stories to come.
Zambia Today is a program that keeps you informed on various government policies and programs. Join us every Tuesday at 18 hours on ZANIS TV, Topstar Platform, Channel 6 DTT, and 458 DTH. Don't miss. Woman Thou Art is a program that offers counsel to the female folk, sharing real-life experiences and providing guidance to the women and young girls on necessary steps and conducts that will help shape and nurture a sober society. Watch Woman Thou Art on ZANIS TV every Wednesday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, Channel 6 DTT, and Channel 458 DTH.
Welcome back. Mpika District Commissioner David Siame says the number of people with active tuberculosis (TB) has been at an all-time low in Mpika District since 2023. He has attributed the reduction in TB cases to the support from stakeholders. Mr. Siame was speaking during this year's World TB Day commemoration held under the theme, Yes, We Can End TB. Details in this report.
Mpika District has seen a reduction in tuberculosis cases as of 2023 last year. With the help of partners and community-based volunteers, the district has been able to achieve the reduction of TB cases.
Mpika is one of the TB-burdened districts in Muchinga with 356 cases recorded for the year 2023. Therefore, 2024 is a year of action to ensure that these commitments are met and millions of people benefit from life-saving TB prevention and care services.
Mpika District Health Director Arthur Matika says government has made strides in reducing deaths as a result of TB.
We had a lot of people that were dying from HIV, and what was causing the death in most of these cases was TB. But I'm glad to report that as a country and a district, we have made some positive strides in our fight against TB.
A TB survivor has encouraged community members not to be afraid to seek medical help. Peggy Gutinu for ZANIS in Mpika, Muchinga Province.
We continue with ZANIS news. Now, Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo says ending tuberculosis, TB, will allow funds to be channeled to other economic sectors such as education and agriculture. The minister said this in a speech read on his behalf by Copperbelt Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Daniel Kamenga during the commemoration of World TB Day. Let's take a look.
She is one of the survivors of tuberculosis. Olipa Moyo, in her speech, has encouraged the patients undergoing tuberculosis treatment to always follow the doctor's instructions and take the drugs on time. To fight tuberculosis on the Copperbelt province, the Ministry of Health, among other stakeholders, have commemorated this year's World Tuberculosis Day in Masangano area of Masaiti district.
Government will continue to strive to increase and sustain funding towards the tuberculosis and ensure availability of tuberculosis drugs throughout the country and in all health facilities. If all of us take part and contribute towards stopping HIV and TB, the benefit will be for the whole country and not just for the TB patients.
The Provincial Health Office has also been available to ensure that tuberculosis is eliminated.
And it is through such collaboration with our partners and the use of 2 TB mobile trucks that the province has contributed in identifying 11,846 TB cases and attained a TB treatment success rate of 94% during the previous year of 2023.
The Ministry of Health has been working hand in hand with various stakeholders to eliminate tuberculosis by 2030.
The TB loan project work hand in hand with the Provincial Health Office and all the government institutions or facilities in order to ensure that all patients suffering from TB are screened and put on treatment.
So as we are also part of the program to end TB, we would like that TB screening, like is happening now, is done at most service points. Right now, it's being done in the ART clinics that we are supporting. TB screening is also happening there. HIV testing is happening in TB corners. Our partnership with Ministry of Health, by the end of the 5-year term, we would have at least 75% of the services integrated in various service points.
Chief Nkambo has called on residents in his chiefdom to always seek medical attention when one is affected with TB. Free medical services for screening and treating tuberculosis, among other medical services, have been made available to the people of Masaiti district. Nelly Boto reporting for ZANIS, Masaiti district, Copperbelt province.
In a related development, 21 inmates at Chipata Central Correctional Center have tested positive to tuberculosis, TB, following the screening of 109 inmates. Center in charge, Frank Hajombwa, says out of the 109 inmates screened, 54 have been put on TB prevention therapy. He was speaking during the commemoration of World TB Day in Chipata District. Sylvester Shimba has the rest of the details.
Eastern Province has joined the rest of the country in commemorating the World TB Day. Chipata City Mayor George Mwanza was represented by District Public Health Specialist Dr. Jairus Mulambia at the ceremony held at Chipata Central Correctional Center.
As a country, Zambia, we join the rest of the world in commemorating the world's TB Day, which falls on the 24th of March every year. On this day in 1882, Dr. Robert Koch's remarkable discovery of identifying the bacteria responsible for causing a TB marked a significant breakthrough in the diagnosis and treatment of the disease. Today, we commemorate this day to increase the public awareness of TB and its impact in all other levels of our society, from the national to the community, household, up to the individual. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to speak with you today about the importance of reflecting on our collective efforts in the fight against TB and to renew our commitment to raising the awareness about this disease that continues to threaten humanity. The theme for this year's World TB Day is Yes, We Can End TB. It perfectly aligns with the new Adon's government agenda of decentralizing health services and promoting the active participation of all the sectors, including the community.
And Chipata Central Correctional Center in charge, Frank Achumbwa, outlined the strides made to prevent the spread of the disease among the inmates.
I wish to report that the station did conduct a mass screening exercise away from the usual screening on admission. So under this mass screening, we managed to screen 109 inmates. And of these 109, 54 have been identified or suspected that they may have this TB and have been initiated on the TB prevention therapy. These are not confirmed cases, but just to ensure that in an eventuality that they have TB, they don't pass it on to the others inside there. And of these 54 who were initiated on prevention therapy, 21 were confirmed cases. And these 21s are currently on treatment. Mr. Guest of Honor, just this quarter, allow me to report that we've been carrying various intervention programs or measures, such as the entry screening. As our inmates are coming in on admission, we have a deliberate program of screening these inmates for various ailments, TB inclusive. So we test them. If they are found to be TB positive, then they are immediately commenced on treatment so that they don't pass on this problem to other inmates who may not have it. You appreciate that the community here, or the population of inmates inside the prison, is managed in such a way that we almost get to a point where we don't have this problem of TB and other ailments.
Meanwhile, Brighton Zulu gave a vote of thanks on behalf of the inmates.
Kena kake tifuna tiamikile onse bamene bafika kuno siku la lero. Ili siku tini by mistake kwa machina apangidwa kuti chizankhala so nditu. Ndiye kwene ngako siku la lero ni siku la mwoti lokumbukira siku la TB Day lomwe munga bena bamene bakambapo kale osiyana. 24th March 1724 somewhere there when I discovered TB. So bankhala kuti baloyika mbapo TB kale paja pomoti nalibe information bantu banalukufa banayesa umona umu banaona kumbuyo kuja banalumwa 1 year plus mankhwala paka bacha reduce 8 months paka 6 lero.
Sylvester Chimba for ZANIS in Chipata.
Still in health news, as hundreds of people joined in the commemoration of World TB Day in Chamandala Ward in Chadiza District, District Commissioner Malan Zimba says it is worrying that out of 199 cases, 66 cases of TB are children.
Hundreds of Chadiza residents commemorated World TB Day in Chamandala Ward. Last year, 199 cases of TB was recorded in the district, as some tested positive to both TB and HIV.
Pano tulukamba
muno mwatu mchadiza mu 2023 199 people 199 vantu anadwala matenda ya TB. Komanso ana 66 below the age of 5 years were diagnosed with TB in Chadiza district. 22 were positive to both HIV and TB.
Measures have been put in place to curb further spread.
What we have done so far is contact tracing. So basically we are making follow-ups to every patient that tests positive and their subsequent immediate family members and the people that they live with. The other issues that we've addressed is creating mobile TB screening centers that have helped us go into the areas where we're having a population focus of positive TB cases. Others include also screening of inmates in a correctional facility within our jurisdiction. Also as well as adherence counseling to some of our clients. These are among us a few measures that we have put in place.
Chiefs understand the gravity of the disease. Jubel Zulu, ZANIS, Chadiza District, Eastern Province.
The Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, has challenged the media to be proactive and educate the masses on the dangers of corruption. ACC Director General Tom Shamagamba says the media is strategically positioned to unearth corruption that occurs across the country. Mr. Shamagamba said this in Kasama when he officiated at a 3-day media workshop for Northern Province-based journalists.
The media plays a critical role in promoting good governance and curbing corruption. It does this by exposing corruption through their investigative reports or by providing a platform for public discourse. This is why the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, has organized a community media workshop for media personnel in Northern Province to build their capacity on how to report on corruption issues. ACC Director General Tom Shamakamba officiated at the workshop.
So you people who have the power of the pen, the power of information, and the power of your brains, help us fight this scourge to reduce it. Don't fear anyone. Yes, corruption is risky business, but if you have the courage, if you have the will, we can fight together.
And ACC Director of Public Education encouraged journalists to use the workshop as an opportunity to build their capacity to report on corruption.
On development, regardless of the corners of this country, where we are coming from, and regardless of which people are sitting in which part of the country, development for everyone, for all of us, and protecting the national resources by all of us, joint efforts. That is the only way we are going to win this fight and have a better country.
Meanwhile, Zambia News and Information Services Northern Province Information Officer highlighted some of the challenges that journalists face when following up on corruption-related stories.
The people you see here, the journalists, I don't think they have that freedom to go out in the field and report cases of corruption. They hear maybe the unknown, or maybe through experience, they've seen that once they reported such cases, they've ended up in trouble.
Reporting for ZANIS in Kasama, I'm Japhet Munkondia.
Thank you, Japhet, for that report. Now, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary for Administration, Mambo Hamaundu, has appealed to the people trading under ZESCO high-tension cables to relocate to safe and conducive trading places. He was speaking in an interview with ZANIS.
They may seem to be trading in a safe environment, but are not. These people are risking their lives trading under high-voltage ZESCO cables. Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary for Administration Mambo Hamahondo has appealed to the traders to reallocate to designated trading places to avoid loss of lives in case of an electric fault.
As local government, I would like to make a passionate appeal to people who are trading in areas such as Mississippi, just a bit off Tokyo Way, to say that place is not conducive. Those are high tension cables, and if we were to have one of them snapping there, it would be a calamity. When people cannot volunteer to do what is right, then we are forced to, put on a different jacket and go in there and carry out enforcement action.
Meanwhile, ZESCO spokesperson Matongo Mahumbi says it is high time people heed to the directive and relocate to safe trading places.
When we want to do maintenance works, it becomes very difficult when our technicians, our engineers go to do maintenance works. They find that there are some structures and then they start struggling. We hope that the engagement with local authorities, the national security, that these people will be able to finally heed. Because the worst would be to wake up and then find all your investment that you did has been evicted.
However, despite knowing that they are trading in an unsafe environment, some are still adamant to move.
Government is thinking of it chose pan. If it funa pamene pan. Chifuka ndiye pamene tinajaira. Tima mvera mantha. Tima ziva ti anytime ungapeze tapezeka mungozi.
It's a dangerous trade under this power line because anything can happen.
Beatrice Simfula reporting for ZANIS in Lusaka.
As we end the news, we recap on the headlines once again. Botswana president in Zambia for working visit. TB cases reduced by 95% in Mpika. Plus, ACC urges the media to be proactive in fighting corruption. On behalf of the entire ZANIS production team, my name is Juliet Mtele saying bye-bye.